Okay, so here's Charlie again with another edition of What Remains of Edith Finch. Spoilers, secrets, blah blah, questions, details, and just pointing out stuff you may have missed. And I'll give you the warning, play the game first. Thanks. Or at least watch a playthrough. Nah, play the game. Playthroughs are never as good. Don't forget, a lot of postcards up here that seem to be coming from all over the world to Walter. Now, somebody's delivering them. Kind of weird. And of course, a couple of candles, little ones. Edie couldn't spare two. There's a bigger one. I take it back. There's some candles back there. All right. Here's Walter's story.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week.
Now, there's the clock. How come the clock wasn't there in the present time? And can we see the postcards? Oh, Brazil and Russia. 1968. All right, let's eat this.
But after a few
The
days,
peaches.
I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today.
The train's on schedule.
I always expected to be dead tomorrow.
Yes.
But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything.
The train at noon. And who was that little guy? Is this the Bee Gees? Ah, a little more. Thailand and India. Now, we know Dawn went to India. Did Dawn know about Walter? Who wrote this song? All right.
Even a monster.
I think Walter gets age spots. The monster on the other side of the door. Almost Edie.
And then one day, everything just stopped.
Now, the theory is the train had to be repaired, or for some reason, the train stopped coming through every day at noon. I'll let this play a little bit, because this one actually starts rocking. What do we got now? Looks like Paris and China. He's starting to get age spots. Now, of course, the monster on the other side of the door is Edie. Edie's bringing him food, bringing him packages, bringing him mail. But does he want to go back into the house? No, that's like the worst idea ever. He'd rather, well, you know what he does.
Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting.
Hang on, I want to check the postcards.
Well, I still can.
I can't walk back. I thought China was the last one. I could see two more. Looks like Spain and something on the beach. Now, how did they show up in the past week? Awfully quiet. Exercise bike. Yeah. Let's go through the hatch. Down the hatch. Now, I see no evidence of alcohol with Walter. Everybody else seems to have a bottle stashed, or a lot of empties.
I know it's out there somewhere.
What is? Edie?
Whatever killed Barbara. And Molly. And Calvin.
Not yet. I notice he doesn't have any of that stuff from the canning factory. None of the canned salmon. They kept that for themselves. Brought in the alvanos and the beans and peaches that look like eggs. All right.
Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day. Even if it kills me.
And it will. I went the other way a little bit just to see. But you can crawl back in. But why?
Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it.
Are you really?
I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left. Or a month. Or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Well, even when you see it coming, it comes awful quick. All right, Edith.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
Yeah. She knew. Oh, cool. What is that? Mexico. Okay. I should have known.
I'm
Well,
sure
we
my
don't-
mom was trying to protect me.
Sorry, Edith. We don't really hear any backstory of people traveling anywhere except to India. All right. Down the hatch.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house,
Yep.
I can only imagine what else she was hiding.
Can you?
I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left,
Here it comes.
maybe 2.
And still people don't get it, but she's pregnant.
I thought
Maybe
it was time
2.
I heard the stories for myself.
A lot of people think it's Milton, but we haven't even
I know
really
what happened to everyone else.
done Milton's story. But we will.
But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believe so much in a family curse.
And they force you to look
we
at
make
it.
Real.
This is really pretty neat. Now, I don't know why Walter gets 2 shrines, but he obviously does. Later on in the cemetery, we'll see the little palm trees and Walter's headstone. So I guess everybody gets a headstone. Some get a shrine. Walter got 2 shrines. And I never realized it's made out of a railroad rail, section of rail, and a tie with a nice little mount that they use when they mount them on the tracks. That is the old house again, in case I haven't put two and two together, but at this point in the game, they're trying to make it obvious, and of course, it will be revealed in the cemetery by Odin's monument. People argue, well, how could there be a train going under the house in a little island? That's not such a little island. It's based on a real island, Walker's Island, and apparently there is or was a real railroad on Walker's Island. And there, of course, is the house. Just make out Edith's top spot, but you really can't see this from there. Because the chairs are in the trees because of Gus's story. And the wind blew everything around, all the chairs, he flew up into the... Eventually...
I don't know if I should even be writing this.
I gotta try not to talk over Edith. And that's hard in this section. There's the old house. Shit Beach. Odin's monument. Maybe the house.
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me.
Another premonition of death. Everybody seems to work that into their statement before the story really gets going. I guess that's the curse. The curse is, you know you're going to die young, or at least you believe you're going to die young. And in most cases, you do. Except for Edie.
But I thought you should know about your family.
So here's the totem pole on the ground that I spoke about, next to the shit pipe. Molly's
you're a part of.
crawls up. Was there an extension cord? God. Yeah. Whoa. I always thought these were solar, but okay. It's a power cord. So again, here's the representation of Calvin on the swing. And I assume that's Molly flying as an owl. Not quite sure what that is. Oh wait, and this is Barbara? It's hard to tell. Of course, everybody tries to walk out into the water and you can't. It's out on the top of the hill. This looks like Milton's castle.
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now.
Okay.
I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
Let's see how close I can get here. It's kind of hard to tell. But I guess it was sitting up here originally. The theory is that's what killed Gus, was this thing coming down on him. You don't actually see it come down on him in the story, but here it is on the ground. And he is buried in the cemetery. Some of the lines on this game give me goosebumps. I mean, it's an emotional game. It's the whole point of it all. one about madness. There's the swing in the house and the
And
stubbornness.
then look at the house. It had that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness.
And a gate, much
Any of
like
it seems possible.
the gate we'll see at the old house. Probably the same sequence as the swing. So the branch never broke. And we're up there when we're chasing the bird. Next time I gotta look for the swing. And here, of course, is the peephole. But you can't really do much with it. You see the broken wire on the pole? Nope. And let's take the walk.
We've been surrounded by death for so
The,
long, we've just gotten used to it.
the ultimate death walk.
What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house? It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one.
Where are these gerbils?
3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Well, we know these were the cages in Edie's room. Burpy, Derpy, Lurpy, Chirpy, Furpy, Lurpy, Derpy, Junior. I don't know who Zoe is. Coco, Tucker, me, Daisy, Lucy. But I know who Christopher is, or was. And there he is. Little fish. In Molly's fishbowl. Shadow. Shotzi, Oliver, Bob, Frog. Now that's the frog from Unfinished Swan, by the way. Bailey. So where's Molly? What happened to Molly the cat? I think Molly the cat's still alive. She's in the garage. She's outside the
Sven
window.
built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
This whole scene is gorgeous, but you knew that. Molly the cat with wings. Calvin. Space Cadet. Now you see this picture in Sam's darkroom. Kind of creepy. Sven. Sven really didn't live to be that old. But now, Edie, we haven't seen the story of the last night, but we know that's, 7 years ago. But also we know that she kind of knew she wasn't going to leave. The assumption is she drank too much with her pills and killed herself. Or at least died from it. But she knew. I mean, it's not like she hauled this stone out here. It was here. She must have come out and chiseled the date. I do know people who have their tombstones already with their birth date and blank spot until they die. To me, this is the highlight of the hidden secrets of the game. And of course, you don't usually see the backside of it first, unless you look through the peephole. And of course, this is the little figure we see in Walter's second shrine. You could just see the old house in the corner. But I missed that a few times. Many people do. There's my shadow. Can you see my belly? Let's see. Not really. Not yet. And Barbara, the star of the show. Sweet 16. All right.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away.
How could it? She seals up the rooms, knows their secret passages, and sits there and burns candles. Oh, I hear the buoy.
She could see it poking out of the water at low tide.
Let's see it a little better. The telescope gimmick is used quite often in Unfinished Swan. It's like wind chimes. They like wind chimes too. Little signatures. And this is like when you play Sam, trying to take pictures. You gotta learn this skill.
Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
Obviously dilapidated. And yet, when the gate is opened, it looks good and it's got power. What the heck is that? Never explained. Which is cool. Everybody can
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand.
wonder. Not to be confused with wander, because we used that word a couple of times. And it's pretty neat that you don't even realize you walked right past that other path on your way up. They disguise it nicely. All you really see is this. They guide you pretty good through this game.
But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from.
Now, at this point, we haven't heard these stories.
Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
Gus, the wind. It was all because of the wind. Sam, patriotic to the end. Now, Gregory, I guess since we haven't played the bathtub scene, it shouldn't have the frog. Now, when you first walk past Milton, there's nothing to trigger. No death date, because he's missing. But yet, the pause menu, there's a death date, 2003. So I don't know what's up with that. That must be when they planted this, but Sanjay, who you really don't know much about yet, and the only of the in-laws buried here.
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us.
They're hiding the date, but the crown is the crown he's about to get when they chop his head off. But now you have a trigger.
We never found Milton's body, so my mom insisted we were putting up a monument, not a tombstone.
Of course, that's the magic paintbrush that is a good part of Unfinished Swan. But then again, so is Milton's room.
There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself.
Well, here comes the big reveal. The emotional tie-in.
But looking back on it now,
Oh, I was looking back on it.
if she told me there was going to be so much climbing,
Wait for it.
I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
And you could see her belly in the shadow now. She had a belly all along. Another forced emotion, little anxiety. Edie's room. controller's
I
dying.
never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common.
So he's powered this up. He's made some bird feeders out of old milk jugs. I've done the same. It's great. When the bears take them off, never to be seen again. Obviously, it's solar. That's a motion trigger, which doesn't really seem to work. It's always on. And here we have the grill and the solar collectors charging up stuff. Let's go see old Sam's place.
They were both pretty intense. Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
War photographer? Now, is that Iwo Jima? Somehow I don't think Sam took that Iwo Jima, but maybe that one. Photo albums. Lenses, slides. I'm a big slide guy. So you couldn't get them anymore, and you could take better pictures with your phone. Henry rifle. His name engraved. Nice. A lot of medals. A lot of nice medals. Purple Heart, I think I saw there. There it is. Dog tags. We'll go in there in
Sam
a little
spent his
bit.
life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
So that must be Kay. Kay's a big girl. Somehow, when we see the girl in the bathtub scene, she's not so big. I imagine that's Gregory in his arms, Gus with the mohawk, Edith. Not Edith, I'm sorry, Dawn. Mom. Is it the rifle in the display case? Looks like it. And a poor unfortunate. Saw that flag at his grave. What do we got down here? Got a lot of booze and pills. At first I thought these were some kind of drug instruments, like a grinder, and I think they're duck calls or some kind of game calls. Not that I would know much about either. Drugs. Oh no, I take it back. So there's Sam, but well, wait a minute. That must be, I don't know, who's that on the swing? Well, we saw them, that was Edie, his brother and him. There's Dawn and him. So it must be Dawn, the blonde girl. Now, we never get to see the other side of this door on the third floor. Like that one that's locked by Barbara's room. And then some people get disturbed by this little cat squirrel scene, but if that's what you want to do and they die, why not? Bird hunt. Yeah, I get the feeling they didn't just die. Sam was a hunter. Not for me. Now, this is interesting. You got one side, everything's still closed. The other side looks like it's been ransacked. Got a box full of stuff for Kay. What do we got in there? A little perfume atomizer, maybe? Binoculars, some books, of course, some books. Airline tickets addressed to her on Orcas Island from when she lived here. And I guess her jewelry. Can we see the truck down there? I don't know if we can. But the telling scene in this is how the one side of the bed is perfectly made, and the other side is Sam's. Kind of sad. Gee, where have I seen a rocking chair like this before? All right, well, let's do Sam's story and hang in there. We're getting there. Thanks.